Welcome back to the Crochet Crowd with my friends at yarnspirations.com. This is an older Caron pattern that has been reformatted by Yarnspirations in today's language and also some additional resources. It's only a 1 skein crochet baby blanket, so in my terms a 1 ball, and as Caron 1 pound yarn, you'll see that there's 2 colors on the landing page. There's this soft pink and there's the succulent color, which you'll see that on page number 2. So it just requires 1 ball, and it's suggesting a 6.5 millimeter size K crochet hook and also a 6 millimeter size J, and we'll cover that when we get there. So this pattern, if you'd like to change the size of it, it's in multiples of an odd number. So we see how it's 95, that's an odd number. So if you want to change the size, you got to make sure that the number is odd, and technically the stitch multiple is 2 chains plus 1, which is an odd number. So we're going to begin. I'm going to start you with this. On page number 2, you'll see a crochet diagram has been generated for this thing, and we'll be addressing that when we get there. And it's a really quite an easy pattern and something that is pretty quick as well. So let's begin. You can either chain 95 or change the pattern. I'm going to just do a little swatch with you. On camera, I'm using a 5 millimeter size H crochet hook with a Red Heart soft yarn. So we're going to do an odd number or chain 95. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then go all the way to 95 if you want to do it as per the pattern. And if you want to keep on going, you can. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. So 15 is an odd number, and it's a good swatch sample I can provide for you. Let's begin row number 1. Row number 1, you're going to go second chain from the hook, so 1 and 2. Get the back hump of the chain, it will look better, and you're just going to single crochet that one plus the rest of the chain on the back hump all the way to the other side. If you have a need to count your stitches, you should have an even number of stitches when you come across, which is what we do require. So because we skip over the 1 chain and go second chain with the hook, we actually eliminate out a chain, and so in order to get an even number, we have to skip 1 chain when we go to do that. So just single crochet all the way across. When you come all the way across, you're just going to turn your work and prepare for row number 2. Let's begin that. Row number 2. Going to show you 2 ways to start row number 2. You can choose which way you prefer. You can either chain 1 and double crochet into the first one, and that chain 1 doesn't count it as anything, but then the first stitch is technically would be your double crochet fully, and it will look nicer in my opinion. Or what you can do as per the pattern, you could just chain 3 that counts as a double crochet. So you have to decide which one is good for you as well. And sometimes people chain 2 and double crochet in the first one as well, but you have to decide. When you get all the way across, you should just have 1 stitch left, and you're just going to double crochet. So I'm just going to keep it towards the pattern. And so we're going to do a crisscross stitch all the way across. Now, how I crisscross is up to you. Okay, so we're going to skip the first one and we double crochet the next. And then we double crochet back into the one we skipped. I prefer to cross in the back side. So just wrap the hook, shift the project in front, and come in to the one you skipped and double crochet. Okay, so you got a crisscross that's happened. If you prefer, and just be consistent, then you can cross in the front if you wish. So if you want to cross in the front, just cross and then grab the one you skipped, and then just double crochet. So if you prefer one way or the other, so you can let me know in the comments, do you prefer to cross in the back or through the front? For myself, it's in the back. It's easier just to me to shift my hands. So I'm gonna cross back. So you're gonna do this all the way across. So you skip the next one and you double crochet the one after that. Then you come into the one you skipped, and you have decided by now which way you want to do it. So I just cross back, either in the front side or the back, and then you keep on moving. So skip the next one and double crochet the next one after that. And then cross back. So go all the way across the row, and I'll see you at the end of the row. When you get all the way across, you should just have one stitch left, and you're just going to double crochet in there. So it's an even number of stitches that we're across. So each crisscross equals 2 stitches. So you have 1 stitch, which is your beginning, and 1 stitch is your end, which is your 2. So that's why it's an even number. Okay, so you're gonna turn your work and begin. We use video chapters, so if you wanna go to your video chapter, you can just be able to scroll ahead or back, and I'll see you in the next row. So it's only 2 rows, so you're gonna chain up 1, and you're going to single crochet into each stitch all the way across. When you finish your blanket, you should be finishing with a 3rd row. Okay, so you're just single crocheting yourself across. I'll see you at the end of the row in a moment. So you're coming all the way to the end. We still have the top of the turning chain. People miss this usually when they're new to crochet. So you go right into the chain work of the end. Okay, so everything should be out. So if your last stitch is on top of a crisscross, it means that you're missing your beginning turning double crochet or turning chain. So you're going to turn your work, and then we'll begin our next row. So to start a new row, you have decided how you want to do it. I did a chain 3, so you can do a chain 3 if you want to, or do an alternative method if you wanted to, and then start crisscrossing. So you skip the next one and double crochet the next one after these. The crisscrosses completely line up to each other below. Okay, so this crisscross now has a new crisscross over top, and because you're being consistent with your crisscrossing, it'll look pretty cool as you're going across. So you're going to crisscross yourself all the way across on this row. When you get all the way across, you still have 1 solo single crochet by itself, and put a double crochet in that one. So you're going to repeat the last 2 rows over and over. You see the video chapters, and you'll be able to get those. And when you're ready, you need to complete your last row. So the last row has to be a single crochet in order to be consistent with the starting border. So let's do your last row. When you're ready for your last row, you just chain up 1, and you just single crochet yourself across. When you get all the way to the end, do not fasten off, just keep your yarn going, and we're going to move on to the border after that. So single crochet across when it's your last row, and do not fasten off. Don't forget that you still have your turning chain when you get all the way across, and you have to single crochet into that one. As you've been crocheting, you can see the distance of your stitching of the tops. And what I need you to do is to match that distance along the side, because the side you just have to guess on equally spacing out your stuff as you're going down the side. But if you look at the tops and how much they're pulled and how they're consistent they are, you should be able to get that on your side edge. So let's start the border number 1. To begin the first round, you're going to chain up 1 and right into the top of the same stitch, which is kind of weird, but it's happening. And you're going to put in 3 single crochet and continue to rotate around the circumference of your blanket. That's a big word today. So we're now going to come down this side. So never go into a space, stay within the chain work, and make the stitches look like it belongs there. So look at the distance of that. So your hook is regulating that distance, and then you're just going to continue to jump down the side so that the tops look like this side. So the pattern has a diagram that's kind of showing you that as well. And then eventually you'll hit to the next corner, which will be the base of it. So on the very corner one, you are going to apply 3 single crochet to turn. So 1, 2, and 3. Now, because I had to go in the back loop only, along the base of the starting chain, you're just applying 1 single crochet into each stitch all the way across. And then you'll turn on the last one and put 3 single crochet in. And Daniel's trying to get a hold of me. And then we'll put 3 single crochet into the corner and then come up the other side. So it's really the first round that matters the most when it comes to this particular concept. So in the very last one, it's a single crochet in. There's 3 of those, so 1, 2, and 3. and then you're going to come up the side. So you're just going to guess where you need to go based on the tops. So at the end of this round, we have to make sure there's an even number of stitches that going all the way around. So you are going to have to count your final circumference to make sure it's an even number. So at the top of this side, we're just going to put 3 single crochet, and then just coming across. So if you don't have an even number, what you can do is hit 2 together somewhere, or just eliminate out 1 stitch, or just add in an extra stitch to get it as an even number all the way around. Okay, so once you're coming all the way across, you're just going to join it to the first one with a slip stitch, and then we're going to begin your next round. So now that you're here, you need to switch out your hook to being smaller. So I've been using a 5mm, so I need to go down to 4.5mm, like so. If you're using it as per the pattern, you have a 6.5mm size K. You need to go down to a size J, a 6mm, and I have to find out what Daniel wants. Okay, we're gonna do a picot going all the way around. Make sure it's an even number, and all it is chain 1, and you're going to single crochet, chain 1, and a single crochet into the stitch. You're gonna immediately skip the next stitch and do the same thing in the next. So it'll be a single, chain 1, and single. So it's just thickening up the border just a little bit. So skipping 1, single crochet, chain 1, and single, and you're going to continue this all the way around. So when you get to a corner, you're just following the pattern as is. So you're just naturally turning on its own, so you don't have to do anything special in the corners, and you just naturally follow it around. And you're going to do this all the way around for your final round today. So coming around, and I'm just going to finish the final. If you were off by 1, just fudge it, you know. Luckily for you, babies don't know how to count, and so you're just going to slip stitch to the first single crochet. To be able to fasten in off your yarn, especially if you're a new crocheter, it's really quite easy. You're just going to trim your yarn and pull through, and you're going to grab a tapestry needle, turn it to the wrong side of the blanket, so you've been working on the right side the whole time. You'll see how they look slightly different. Okay, so this is the right side. And so I've turned to the back of the blanket, and I'm going to throw this through a tapestry needle. So don't use your crochet hook to weave in your ends, because it will definitely come out, and just take it through the back side. Don't allow that needle to interfere with the front, because it'll look like sin. So if sin has to look, that's what it is. And when you weave it in and out, just don't go between the fibers. Break the fibers apart, because it'll get really stuck better that way. And if you ever have to frog, means to rip it. It's really difficult to do that if you do it that way, which is what you're hoping for, especially when a baby is expected to use this particular blanket. So any loose ends, you'll have this, but this is a really nice, simple, easy flowing pattern to be able to play with, and we hope you enjoy. And please leave a comment below if you complete one of these. I'd love to hear it.